NBA Young Flights. I don't know that. I don't know that. Now let's check this out. This what y'all got to know what's going on. You got to know what's going on with the energies. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to know. Now, my way of constructing the energies is what you could point to and be like, no, it ain't that Dolo. It ain't that hellhole. You know what I'm saying? I live in a hellhole. I'll never see no halo. Hellhole? Tell me, know what's going on. Hell, I said whatever. Then some people saying this is trash or my eardrums. He named the planet. You know what I'm saying? Another person might be like, oh, you talking about the sky. He's like, oh, I'm saying, well, how to make some money. Oh, there's going to be some other people be like, you know what I'm saying? I can't get no job. There's a whole lot of ideas to get you into the distracted world, but if you understand the energies, you'll be able to participate smoothly. Smooth criminal. You know what I'm saying? White collar, blue collar, red collar, black collar, whatever collar you go. Ski mask. The ski mask, like, you know what I'm saying, to get my ski mask. So yeah, that's what 50 Cent said. What 50 said. You know what I'm saying, to get my ski mask, man. Oh, I said what 50 said on that one album. What was that? The Massacre. Oh, I said real stuff. So y'all gotta pay attention right now. Earthly energies, real earthly constructed energies. I mean, you gotta be down to earth a little bit. You can't be too lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Foggy land, thinking everything about your visions, how you feel, fire, even if you ain't a fire sign. Lost in your feelings that leave you just emotional, you can't see anything else, lost in a delusion, lost in the circumstance of the ocean. You ain't even got to be a water sign. Lost in the air, stuff like that. You ain't even got to have no feather in your hair, stuff like that. Straight bird head or whatever. You ain't even got no air in your chart. It don't matter, stuff like, you see what I'm saying? None of that's going to work right now with the constructed energy of Earth. Those thoughts don't work. Those feelings don't work. Those emotions don't work. Thoughts, air, feelings, fire, emotions, water. Yeah, it don't work right now. It don't work. Practicality work right now. Y'all said those thoughts, feelings, practicality, stability, security, support. You running your mouth too much, it don't sound like nothing that's going to keep the roof over somebody's head. You won't have your family by the end of the month or whatever the case may be, or end of the week. You know what I'm saying? You're talking too much right now, talking about your inspirations. If you just show up at that audition, or you want to audition, you want to campaign. You campaign and audition for donkey. You lucky I like that little green button on the side. You know what I'm saying? I'm lucky I like that little green button on the side of the algorithm. Real stuff. You know what I'm saying, boy? Oh, monkey. Sweat, monkey, and smack. All them energies, though, like you said, you can't be formulated in the thought, the fire, the water is the thought, the fire, the water, you call it. Nah. So, oh, that's it in your mind. That's all you need to know. Do your own research. Do your own I'm saying do your own research. Do your own research. But like I said, right, talking about the energies, a lot of Earth energies and stuff like that. You might be like, he about to name a planet, so why that got to be Earth? Why, see what I'm saying? I don't want to have to keep, because I know I got a lot of new people watching me and stuff. Like, I like to make things simple so you can correspond to it. Trust me, if I'm saying something like this, you can hear Europeans talk like this, you can hear Asians talk like this, you can hear, so for the most part, it got to have some kind of credence to it. Well, I say got to have some kind of credence to it. You just can't go outside and experience spring, summer, winter, and fall. You want to call that pseudo? How spring, summer, fall, and winter pseudo? How? It's cold outside when it's winter time. Springtime, I'll never see the fruit grow during fall time and grow springtime. Summertime, only time the beaches open. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, everything ain't pseudo because people be trying to get $1 and grift and scam. Everything ain't pseudo. Like you actually feel sunlight. That ain't pseudo. You know what I'm saying? Because cats be going, I understand we can over exaggerate about things we all can. I understand that too. See, that's why I'm everybody's spiritual best friend, next door neighbor. That's it. That's what my page is for. Don't mix me to none of y'all personal biases, circumstance, emotional flunked out stuff y'all be in. I'm here for all y'all. You and your enemy. Don't make me none of them. I'm everybody's friend. Your enemy allowed to listen to me just like everybody else. Like God, that's like God is. Just like it rained on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that everybody will learn their own way. You know what I'm saying? Now you and your own subjective kind of concepts and stuff like that's what you got to deal with. That's what you got to deal with. This will help you out. Help you and your enemies out. You know, other than that, all y'all end up being more peaceful. Don't go no further than that. Because everything going through turmoil right now. You know what I'm saying? And I like to look at what's the reasoning for a person to be in that space, spiritual space, in the first place, to develop those mentalities, to bend in and become this person's actions, for them to always end up 18 months away from just getting out the halfway house. So we got a peak game and stuff like that. I just make that example, you know, but it varies, you know what I'm saying? It varies in people's relationships. It varies in people's business circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Your day-to-day networking, your day-to-day friendships and stuff, your siblingship, how you deal with your family, all that and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's just based on counterpartmentalizing how much percentage scale of that energy is participated in. You know what I'm saying? All the way when you even get to family, you have to do that on a large scale so you can know how to separate which should be more business than personal, with your actual friends and stuff like that. And when you flip it on the other side, if the grass ain't green, because the grass ain't never really greener, but you know, if you're doing your little business or whatever, you know who to make personal and who to keep just business or whatever the case may be. You know, you make too many, you know, you do a lot of deals in the business, you feel too good, a person know your ins and out and things of that nature, and that's why you getting divorced next month and stuff like that, because you didn't told the wrong person your schedule or something like that, because y'all made a lot of money together. That was just your business homie. That's it. Or if that was just your business homegirl, that's it. Y'all done got happy, got a few checks together, business running good, well, oil running machine, corporation or something like that. Y'all done went out week after week, had them drinks, and you know what I'm saying, a little too much of stuff, told too much of each other's business. You know what I'm saying? Told too much of each other's business. Now somebody knowing someone at the crib and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody knows somebody ain't out the crib. Somebody knows somebody's Facebook page, and they got another Facebook page that, you know what I'm saying, that the husband or the wife don't know nothing about and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? That somebody know all that at your job now because you was running your mouth too much because you thought that was just the business homie. That was just the business homegirl. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to know how to counterpartmentalize that, or you're going to learn that lesson these next 3 days or 2.5 days now. You will learn that lesson. Moon is in Virgo, Mama Bear. You know what I'm saying? And the sun is in Capricorn. So for the most part, it's putting everybody in that energy of being serious. But the moon is the energy that we're in. This is what we're reacting and responding to. This is the world that we are in. You know what I'm saying? So you got your own micro reaction and responding Lilith emotion. And then we all reacted to it as a macro version. So it ain't all stars don't align. You know what I'm saying? You may have been born when your moon was squaring or in conjuncting or opposing today. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, while the moon is in Virgo, let's say you got the sun, moon, or ascendant in Pisces, that's opposing. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you got the sun, moon, or ascendant in Sagittarius or Gemini, that's squaring. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you got the sun and moon in Aquarius or Taurus. That's I mean not Taurus, but Aquarius or Aries. That's in conjunction, 150-degree angle and things of that nature. So these things, when it comes to your sun, moon, and ascendant, if you got sun, moon, or ascendant in Aries or Aquarius, you might create misunderstandings or have people in your life that create misunderstandings at the moment. Doesn't always have to be negative. Certain situations that you don't understand, it could be a positive scenario, and without that situation, you wouldn't have learned about it, or it wouldn't have been no understanding, however the case may be. You might have thought wrong, or however. You know what I'm saying? If you are a Gemini or a Sagittarius, then sun, moon, or ascendant, you may be in a situation where you experience minor frustrations. You know what I'm saying? So the things that you was naturally able to do with the natural mutable alignment, you might meet road blockages based off the element. So your way of naturally doing things have to be constructed as a conduit through the filtering system of the element that may be 90 degrees away, but y'all share the same modality. So you see things that you can do, but it may be harder for you to do it because you got to make your element work for the element that's your same modality. So as a Sagittarius, you could still be mutable, but you have to make sure that mutable fire is being constructed for an earth place, or earth energy, something you could practicalize, something you could analyze, something you could craft up, something you could perfect, not make it perfect, but something you could work on, or whatever the case may be. So you could work on your spirituality right now, work on your creativity, work on your way of expressing yourself, work on your way of seeing and feeling about things, because it's mutable fire. Being mutable and being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of seeing and feeling. Seeing that develops as visions that condense and become the first feelings, and a bunch of feelings condense and become emotions. So before you become lost in an emotion, you be in your feelings. And if you ain't seeing your feelings right, you all over the place and scattered and things of that nature. And then you start picking one of these things and you be in a cage, and it ain't no cage. And then anytime somebody try to get you out of that, then you feel like you need to escape. Now it's a form of escapism. So you have to make sure that you're constructed that more in an earthly manner. Start to pay attention to those things. Worry about those things. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes into your health, before you go express your creativity or what you're trying to preach. You ain't even got to be a preacher. All Sagittariuses think they preaching about something. You know, they, even if they robbing banks, stealing their grandmother's last pack of Newport cigarette and things of that nature before y'all go to church and stuff like that, they real wise on knowing how to do it the right time and 10 minutes before y'all all get in the little minivan or the 12 Mexicans hopping out the Mazda before everybody go to the goddamn city fair. Whatever the case it may be. You know what I'm saying? But if you a Gemini, right, you got to be in some situation where yeah, you can still be mutable with your exchanging of thoughts and ideas, but you could be seen as two-faced right now if the thoughts you exchanging or the way you think or the way you communicating ain't wise. And you might not be in a position currently and things of that nature of being seeing if something wise or foolish or whatever the case, but it's being up for judgment due to the fact of you have an alignment actually angling it right now, and it's a dominant one right now on the moon. You know what I'm saying? It's the fastest moving one, so for the most part it ain't moving, but you know what I'm saying? So reactions and responses going to be fast to your energy in that square kind of concept. So what you was doing normally that wasn't really causing no problems may cause a problem. You know, the way you saying something, or the way you attack a subject matter, or how you're communicating about it, or what's on your mind and how you think about something. Like this might create minor frustrations during this particular time when you doing the same thing you was doing, or talking the same way you was talking, or thinking the same way you was thinking last week. So be careful, Geminis, sun, moon, and ascendants during this particular time right now. If you is gonna have those fruitful conversations, make sure it's about the money. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about no money, security, something you should be worrying about, not things that you can't control. So you're trying to worry about things you can't control. You're going to be all over the place, and you will experience a crash out because it's a 90-degree angle based upon the moon, and that's the world we in. Now, the moon going to look like, it's going to look like the way we get it done, Capricorn. But that's a trine energy. So we're dealing with we're dealing with mutable and cardinal. So we're being able to switch up on what we was trying to initiate. If we were trying to initiate some status, some business, we're able to add on things to it. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's people, places, and things, right? So it can adjust it and make us not worry about something, or crash down the whole Capricorn building, and now looking at all the crevices with the Virgo energy and the moon making us react and respond to all the things we got to worry about to rebuild something because we didn't crash it out, or we didn't did some bulldozer type of circumstance and created a tower moment. So we have to be careful during that particular time also, especially for you Geminis. Now, so we did the inconjunctions, and yeah, Aries, you may experience some misunderstandings right now based upon your passions, motivations, and your desires, right? They have to be more constructed into some energy where you're worrying about the details. Sometimes you just think you can wing it. Sometimes you just think you can just go about it without thinking, or however, because you think you're good at it, or however the case. Nah, think about the things you usually don't think about that you know is going to build that little frustration on your mind because you think you don't have to think about those things. Those are things you got to think about at this time, or you will create misunderstandings. The Aquariuses, be careful what you communicating right now if you don't know about the details, or if you ain't analyze a situation fully or thoroughly, and then you just doing that objective devil's advocate way of conversating or way of communicating with your people and stuff like that. That's going to cause more derogatory energy right now than usually. You know what I'm saying? Where usually it's that healthy, witty banner that people like from you and things of that nature. Right now, even if you write, people might not like it or things of that nature. Even if it's about money, people might not like the way you expressing to them on how to get it, or what's wrong with them, or a better idea. You know what I'm saying? Your idea might be so cold, somebody might not even want to give you the satisfaction just because the moon in Virgo. You ain't even said nothing wrong to them. Yo, this idea was so cold, they want to take it and run with it. They don't want to do it with you because they know you gonna be the forefront of it. So they're like, oh, it's a cold ass idea. But nah, something wrong with it though, because it, you know what I'm saying? So don't even give everybody your ideas right now, Aquarius, because all you're gonna do is create a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna misunderstand that they thought you needed them. You know what I'm saying? So you and Aries, y'all gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all gonna get misunderstandings. People thinking you need them in some way. Aries gonna be in the way of how you see your actions, your passions, your desires, your creativity, your independence. Aquarius is your fixated way of communicating, your uniqueness, and your ability to obtain that distance and stuff like that. A person, you might have some distance or something for your own reasons. A person might think you upset about something, so you doing something based upon them not helping you with something like that. In your mind, you got something else going on. Like you think you got to start thinking like, I hope this person don't think I need them. You know what I'm saying? So Aquarius says you might have to go through that a couple times too, because y'all know how y'all talk with y'all friends and people and stuff like that, and family and stuff. So a lot of times you say so many things, you leave a person after the conversation with a stain on their mind that you lean and support on them in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? This is your way of communicating to boost somebody up and stuff like that. But you never fail to get back in that ghosting bag whenever you need to get back into it and stuff like that. But when you start seeing people get too hyped and be like, wait, this person think I actually cared about what I said. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to remind people with your distance. If you don't want to go through that to develop no unnecessary animosity and things of that nature, or no weird elephants in the room, just chill out and don't communicate everything right now. Just go ahead and let people be a fool right now if you can see this person a fool. You know, you ain't got to let them know how intelligent you are by putting them on the game right now. Let a person fall, then the game you give them will be that much more appreciated, and you don't always have to be in that position where ghosting people strictly for that reason too, because you just told somebody something 5 times already and stuff like that, and you can't tell them no more. I think it's time for you to separate in distance, and that's what you and Leo's got in common. Y'all think y'all can separate y'all energy, and that would make people mad about something. That might work this time though, y'all, during this particular time. So that might work. But for you Virgos, y'all going to be the examples of what to do or what not to do when it comes to all of us knowing what to react and respond to, or how to react and respond to it, because that's the moon. The moon deals with our needs and how we react and respond. And anytime, particularly your own moon, if you're not in the energy that represents your moon, sign, modality, element, and the sign that is in, and things of that nature, this is what makes you feel highly uncomfortable. Anytime you're around an enormous amount of that energy, but you ain't a participant of it, this would develop that nervousness, that fear, or you find something to dislike about, and things of that nature. So that'd be the other polar shift of the internal self-reflection outwardly, but what's going on with you internally, you're experiencing it outwardly in some type of way, even if it's not tangible and physical or whatever. So when you're not around that energy, you feel uncomfortable. When it's too much of that energy that you ain't in control over, and it's too many other parties involved with it, even if they not signed or not. The situation itself may be more of your element, but you're out of control of it. It's more people. Let's say if you like a Gemini moon or so, or Gemini sun or something like that, or Gemini moon specifically, and it's like a communicative social situation, but it's mad other people there, whether they Gemini or not. Got way more control over all the conversations. You can't find your way in, or whatever the case may be. You start finding ways to poke holes in somehow. Somebody ain't saying something right, or depending on your upbringing in other areas, you might develop fear and stuff like that, depending on what's going on. Nerve-wracking energy. So that's the move. But anytime, the sweet spot is the balance. It ain't too much of that energy, but we got access to it. So we could be in control of it if we're experiencing it externally, whether it's a situation that's playing out as the element or a person, place, or thing, whether they're that sign or not. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a situation that we can bask in it and control it, and it's not too much of it, others in control, or it's a situation we don't have no access to it, that's that sweet spot. That's when you feel upbeat. That's when you feel emotionally comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's when you ain't got no worry or whatever the case may be, and that's when you in those type of situations. So y'all got to understand that too. Now, when it comes to just the moon itself right now, that's the world we in. So all of us is reacting and responding to forms of mutable earth, being mutable and being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of thinking and being practical. Now, a lot of people may have a harder time doing that, but you got to do it anyway, due to the fact of you being a sun, moon, or ascendant, and slightly Mercury, Aries, Aquarius, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, and things of that nature. Also, when it comes into you Pisces, sun, moon, or ascendant, specifically moons too, but you may experience it based upon your actions with your sun or what's going on in your personal life, and how you got to deal with it and personally construct it based upon it being your rising, your ascendant, and stuff like that. Now, you're the total opposite, so anything you do during this particular time may rub people emotionally the wrong way, or they may not understand it, or it may cause frustration. Now, like I said, when I say these terms, it's not always chalked up to being negative. Sometimes frustration is positive. You may have forgot how to do something, that's a frustration, but then you figured out how to do it again, or whatever the case may be. So without that conversation, without that situation, you wouldn't have learned how to go through something and not make sure it don't happen again tomorrow, however the case may be. When it comes to misunderstandings, it could be anything. You probably forgot something, and then you got to call somebody and be like, hey, did I leave that there, or whatever the case may be. Something simple. You know what I'm saying? Those always have to be negative. Be something simple. Or did I tell you this, or did I tell you that? It could be something like that, or however the case may be. But and then the opposition energy doesn't always have to be a head-on collision. It could be the goddamn the balance of the goddamn it seesaw, or what they call that what they tug of war. It doesn't have to be a head-on collision or a tug of war match. It could be a balance of the seesaw. So you could be that balance for what's lacking in a circumstance or situation or an assistance or a person, or manifest it, materialize that in your life in some way, shape, or form. So whatever you was unbalanced about, if you're on the right path during this particular time, being a Pisces, sun, moon, or ascendant, you could be in a situation where you find solutions to create more balance in your life and start doing things that you may currently be uncomfortable with. But anytime you're going through the opposite sign in the sky, that you're experiencing uncomfortability. That's another thing too. Anytime we are experiencing opposite energies, that's where uncomfortability be coming from. So if the sun is in your opposites, in any sign that's opposite to one of your planets and things of that nature, those going to be the filtering systems of your actions. You see something being an obstacle to you, or something being opposite, or something being distant, or something that you feel like you're separate from, or something that you can utilize and become the balance for in some way, shape, or form. If you know how to look at everything like the essence first, then it condenses and become an energy in the mental world, then it condenses and become a physical representation in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimensional world. So you're looking at the essence, we're recreating it in the Mecca world, aka as spirits. Then once it's made an energy, a collection of thoughts and feelings, it gets to produce into a fleshly fluid or adrenaline or an experience, a situation and a circumstance. And then that's how we experience it physically, even when it's things that's not tangible. You know what I'm saying? But you're still having a physical experience in reality. So when it comes to during this time right now, everybody gonna be in a situation where if it ain't about the money, you know what I'm saying, if it ain't about stability, security, you may worry if you don't even have these things to think about or talk about. These are gonna be the situations that this is why you're probably gonna worry right now. You're gonna be like, is this something I'm supposed to do? Is this something you probably ain't making no money, or you probably ain't take care of a responsibility. It's probably gonna be something that pop up that you may have forgot, or something that probably ain't gonna hurt you in the future if you forgot it, but you know that it can assist you in some way, which you already doing. That might pop back up. You know what I'm saying? Something you haven't been doing, because it's not always what you're doing. It's what you're not doing. Sometimes you're going to start, those things may start popping back up. And those are all kind of small circumstances of you feeling like you have to go craft something out, or work something back out, or perfect something. And all of us are going to be looking at our work, health, routine, scheduling, and things to do on the day, or things that we do on a day-to-day basis. So for the most part, you're going to be health aware. Let's say you're a content creator and things of that nature. You may find yourself slowing down, having a lack of content to present because you're probably more health aware right now. Or there's a lack of imagination to develop into creativity right now because all the creative energy is going towards earth type stuff. So people in that energy, that's more predicated in our responsibilities, stuff that ground us and stuff like that. So when it comes to being a content creator, or when it comes to doing things that you enjoy and stuff like that, you may have a lack of interest during this particular time, because the things that ground us to support those things gonna be one of the main interests. So you know what I'm saying, you might be more worried about money, or you might be worried, like, let's say if you even make music, you might be more worried about the equipment than actual music itself and things of that nature, however your particular circumstance may play out. You know what I'm saying? People may be experiencing extremely negative things with their equipment and stuff like that. A lot of people are hungry for equipment and stuff like that. Equipment may break, equipment may get stolen, or however the case. If you got a job and you got responsibility for a lot of the things more than other individuals, double check these things and stuff like that, because it could be some things that miraculously happen, like a Mercury retrograde. But for the most part, you ain't gonna have full control of it, but you only gonna be the representation of who to blame and stuff like that. It's gonna be, it's like gonna be a stain on your face card. And for the most part, it's gonna be some stuff you ain't even you couldn't even change, even if you could have rewind time or some stuff like that. So it's gonna be something dumped on you that ain't really your cause, but you're gonna be the effect and the cause of it just by default. So all those things that's making us worry or making us have to overanalyze something or double check and stuff like that, just do it ahead of time, so you don't have to be in a situation where the earth element make you be in a certain distraction, aka our focuses. And this is how other areas lose traction, that if the alignment was in another way, we'll have more focus on those, and this area will lose traction and stuff like that. So we have to understand this, why you be having those times of forgetting stuff, where when other times you be like, I know I ain't about to forget it because I said it here, I forgot something before, and then something else happened in another type of way and stuff like that. It's because of this energy we're working with, the world we're in, and then your own natural alignment. So a lot of times when we're experiencing, we have to interact with this pocket, aka it could be the sun and the moon having an alignment. It goes down on the credence of what we was paying attention to before. And there was a lot of things in that other pocket and stuff like that that we may have went through the ups and downs with and made sure we don't go through it again. And then when more percentage scale be in this pocket for us to focus and then take actions towards, here's how a mistake can happen in that same area we thought we was prepared, but it happened in another way, because we add the other element of the sun or whatever the moon at the moment, and then we're still dealing with our situation that we still made the same substance in, so it got other elements to it, so it have like a same situation in a different way. You know what I'm saying? This is how you go through. It don't matter if you probably was in a relationship and you got cheated on 10 times. You know what I'm saying? You still got cheated on, same situation, just in 10 different ways with 10 different people, however the case. You see what I'm saying? It's like same day, different beat, or different day, same beat. Can't have one without the other type energy. You know what I'm saying? So when you just think about these qualities right now, right, it's like an esoteric weather that condenses and become the actual weather and stuff like that. And when you understand how to swim in your spaceship or your boat, however you want to call it and stuff like that, like I like to call it a spaceship because I move fast. I'm like, I am what it means to be Dolo, to be the singular flying thought. So when someone do something by themselves, they doing the energy I created. Like that's the spiritual space I originated in, and all my substance come from that first original thought, then all the physical fleshly fluids that come, and I'm a big spirit and stuff like that. So wouldn't nobody know how to do stuff by themselves without me being in existence. Then it got other people doing other type stuff and stuff like that. But you got a peep game like that. Now when I say we all did stuff alone, like by ourselves, but I'm talking about when we actually get condensed in the world, and then for the most part you have to do it independently. So it ain't what we do, it's how we doing it. We all doing the same thing, but how you do it, everybody can't do it independently. Everybody can't, and it's broad. You know what I'm saying? There's broad things that people need assistance with that I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an independent thingy, like, you know what I'm saying, on a broad scale. You know what I'm saying? That goes for thinking qualities and stuff. A lot of y'all be needing help with thinking. You know what I'm saying? But your thinking is your body. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to know when you think you're moving a body, and that this would condense from that. You just got so lost in this one, you forgot, and you really didn't forgot. You always doing your first body first. You always have to move your first body first. You know what I'm saying? If you can't move your first body, you ain't moving this body. It don't matter. You could be stuck in thought. This body ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you that right now. You Beavis and Butthead all day. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when we start to understand that, that's when you know you building adrenaline, you're building hormone, you're building essential minerals. You know what I'm saying? You're building all those things that your body already know how to produce. Because where else do they come from? You know what I'm saying? All these things come from your body and stuff like that. You are vitamin D, you are magnesium, and things of that nature. You don't get it from the sun. You are it. You are a piece of the sun. You just don't work yours out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it means. You know what I'm saying? So you could be a caveman, never get no sun. If you here, you are the sun. So you just you ain't doing the right mineral. You might be a mineral that you don't you don't know how to eat cornbread. You eat too much wheat bread. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be you know what I'm saying? It's just what kind of walking blood stain is you? You know what I'm saying? What kind of mineral is you? And y'all don't treat y'all mineral right. Y'all don't be a right mineral. Y'all don't be the right essential ingredients for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So and then you don't think it's that simple. It is that simple. It's your spirit being in the space and thinking. It is that simple. You know what I'm saying? Your thoughts is what's producing to become all the things that you probably lack right now because you lack thought and imagination. So I guarantee your body lacks some nutrients. You know, you lack mad nutrients and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you that's how it is. It don't go no further than that. If you think you go any further than that, you somewhere sitting around with lack of nutrients. You know what I'm saying? You can't think. It's hard for you to think about what I'm talking about right now. Yet you doing what I'm talking about. You got lack of thought and you got lack of nutrients. So you got lack of comprehension, everything. You really got no business being on my page for real. You know what I'm saying? That's how it really be. But at the same time, when y'all understand that, you'll get your mind together. And then once you do it long enough, you know things take time. It ain't no overnight thing. Well, I could think another thought. That's fast. No, that's a collection of thoughts to produce. So that takes like days, weeks, and stuff like that. You got to be on something mentally, and then those actions start to play out, and you have to be on that for long periods of time. And then you'll start to see the results. Nothing is overnight. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all, the way y'all brains work, it appeared that y'all may have been born overnight and out of a test tube. Nobody had to have sex for y'all to be here. But y'all said at some point, you know what I'm saying? We start understanding, life. But just to get back to Virgo, though, you know what I'm saying? All of us are going to be reactive responding, or mama bear, to some form of stability, security, and that mutable earth. Be immutable, being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of thinking to be impractical. Try not to become too prejudging during this particular time. Or try not to put yourself into a situation where you don't where you have to worry where you didn't have to worry. You just like put your foot in your mouth. You accepted something too fast. You know what I'm saying? Like you like somebody just asked you, yeah, I'm gonna need something, I'm gonna need this. I ain't got no car or something like that. You just volunteered. You went on ahead and campaigned. You went on ahead and just audition. Oh, well, yeah, I can do this day. I can do this that day. That's getting ready to turn into a whole year. You taking this person to work. Watch. They ain't gonna, once you didn't became their crutch, they ain't never gonna get the motivation to go get their car fixed or whatever like that. They gonna be in a situation like, oh shit, I don't got to. I got Sally and Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? You probably Sally or Jimmy and right at the moment and stuff like that. You gonna get tired of being Sally and Jimmy. You gonna start looking at your gas tank. You know what I'm saying? You gonna start thinking about how much money you spent when your car need fixed and stuff like that. And they ain't never part of that picture. They only in the picture when y'all riding to work. Eventually you're gonna get tired of Sally and Jimmy for real. So you might have to think right now before you put your foot in your mouth. Think right now. You know what I'm saying? Because Sally and Jimmy getting ready to make you a crutch. It's Virgo moon. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's Virgo moon right now. The sun in Capricorn right now. Everybody business ain't at the top. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got a good status, ain't got a good face card and stuff like that. Everybody ain't got no 24/7 Amtrak train station business. They could go through New York, Jersey, Philadelphia, and stuff like that all day, and put you on the game and stuff. You probably get rocked to sleep. Some bum in New York make you pay double the price to get you in and stuff like that. You could have just went and got it yourself. Just got sweet talk to you and stuff like that. Real good. In the New York City subway, train station and stuff. They talk, we got a bum there all night. Hey, all you got to do is do this. And look, this is cheap, this, that, and there. You didn't pay like over triple, double of everything. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Like, the whole time you thought you was getting a deal. The whole time. Yeah, don't go to New York if you ain't got no mouthpiece. I'm gonna tell you that right now. No. I love that's like my stay at home. Y'all act like my people. I'll say if you don't know how to think, your thoughts too slow or something like that, you don't know what's going on or whatever the case may be, somebody will make you feel like you know what's going on and stuff like that. It'll take a while for you to get back from your vacation and stuff to realize, oh, dang, I done paid about 10, 9 people just to ride the little ferry train down to Times Square and stuff like that to ride around. You done paid about $200 for a 50 cent ride. And no, none of that. You done went through like 9 people. They just made a airbrush uniform and stuff like that. You done thought homeboy worked there with the dreads. You done thought the whole girl worked. You done thought the Japanese dude worked. You done went through about 10 hands before you done got on the little thing where you go ahead and what they call that? I forget what they even call that thing when you just a visitor. The tourist bus. Yeah, the tourist bus. You know what I'm saying? You done thought you got a deal. You done came out $200 for a $1.50 tourist ride and stuff like that, just around the corner and stuff like that. You gotta think like you had to make up in your mind. It was a sight to see. Like, yeah, I was at Times Square. I used to see this on Fox News every morning and stuff like that. Oh, you gotta make up in your mind on why you went broke in one night. You know what I'm saying? I rocked to sleep by like 10-5 goddamn fast talkers and stuff like that. One Arab, one Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? Some Irish dude and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some bucket hat dude without his bucket hat on. He had some all black Air Forces on. You know you get ready to get scammed and get some fake jewelry. You know you get ready to get scammed. Now you know you get ready to leave New York broke. The first night. You didn't get a chance to sleep in the damn hotel? Yeah, because you want to go to Times Square. You want to go. You know what I'm saying? You can't go out to eat nothing. You can't do nothing. It's only to ruin your trip. Oh, none of that. You got to make it up. I like the buildings. See, I see them taking a bunch of pictures of some buildings that none of the Masons even care about no more. These cats ain't come refurnish it or nothing like that. You got to make up in your mind. I'm gonna look for hits with George Washington. No, I say you got to make up in your mind on why you broke. You know what I'm saying? About 6 months later, you got to make up in your mind like, what the hell with New York? I ain't going to New York. You know what I'm saying? Straight Babylon. New York is straight Babylon. You know that? Shout out to the Queen. But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Queens, New York. That. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? People got to work hard. Y'all New Yorkers got to work hard right now and stuff like that. But it's going to be a lot out there for y'all because y'all planet, the Macatama planet up there and stuff like that, y'all waters and stuff, it's already drenched in that energy. So it's going to be a lot of things y'all can do. Like, it's like business ain't going to be slow. This around the time of the year, business start picking up. Y'all going to see a lot of people, even scammers and stuff, Jamaicans and stuff, new Air Forces and stuff. But right now, y'all got that kind of pocket. You just got to be in the right place, right time. That's y'all problem. Y'all, if you got to know how to set up shop. If you don't know how to set up shop, you get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? Be that 1 or 2 days you get discouraged or whatever the case, and you think that ain't the spot. No, you got to stay there, stay in the spot for a long time, for a couple of months, couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll see a duplicate or whatever. But you got to have that type of mentality. And that goes for all places and stuff, especially with the moon right now and just for the next couple of days or whatever. But you know, this is what everybody going to be thinking and reacting and responding to. So if you got somebody constantly trying to remind you something you already know, you know, don't take offense to it or whatever the case may be. They don't even got to have the Virgo energy. It's just that's what's going on right now. Trust me, you will see how that was actually beneficial. Because there's a lot of y'all that might get frustrated, especially if you got a cardinal sign and stuff. You get frustrated when somebody reminds you something you already know, whatever the case may be. But you're going to start to see how that's good, because it's times that you really need that and you wish somebody did that, but you played out so many energies, that'd be the time nobody do that for you or whatever the case. So just chill out. Don't just overreact and over-respond. Just if it's something you already know, just chill and be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Take it into another aspect. Be like, oh, this person care. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all don't know how to do that. A lot of y'all just want to be so much of y'all distractions and be frustrated. No, sometimes it be other ways of how people express they care. You be wanting people to care for you in your specific way. Y'all be selfish. And everybody ain't got your alignment. Everybody ain't got your energy and stuff like that. So everybody ain't going to care about you the way you think somebody going to care. The way you want them to care. You might got things going on that you just started caring about, that you think people close to you automatically. No, they got their own things they care. So you have to respect care. Respect the Care Bear energy. You know what I'm saying? And you will start to see how in those areas that you do want people to care for you and stuff like that, or care about what you got going on, you will start to see those doors opening up a lot more, and how you was actually pushing that away by forcing it, by asserting it. You know what I'm saying? When someone see you just doing something and you're not putting no pressure on them, even in a sense that they don't see it as pressure, that's where you get the acceptance. All the way to the point when you're trying something and you fail, that's where you actually get the respect for whatever you do, even if you update the same thing or start doing something else. That all that rapport itself is an energy that spirits look at as esoteric currency that you're unrenounced to. But that's the reason why you're getting enough attention for your next thing, even if it's not as strong as the first thing or whatever the case may be. A person who's scared to fail never develops the energy itself. For an example, let's say you got everything going, and let's say we put this in a relationship aspect, right? And you probably think you ain't a bad looking chick or you ain't a bad looking guy. You got yourself going like the business wise and stuff like that. But you find people who you could think in your mind probably look worse or in a worse situation, being able to experience what you want more than you at the moment as far as relationship. Then you find yourself going down a path of thinking you have to construct more of that work to help the relationship, or just find ways just to love the work that you're doing or whatever the case. But what's going on is, in the esoteric world, you in a spiritual space emanating thoughts and feelings, and then that condense and becomes situations and circumstances and physical fleshly fluids. You're not adding enough energy into that which you want. And just because somebody not in the same or a better position that Walt Disney may have told us, these is the necessities you need to make sure a relationship is right, you didn't even manifest that energy to attract a relationship for those things to work that Walt Disney taught us for a relationship. So you could have all the qualities and never could exercise it because you ain't in no relationship, due to the fact of you're not exercising the essence of what attracts a relationship. So there may be certain areas in your life where you're not communicating, you're not talking. And it doesn't mean having to talk with the opposite sex to jump into a relationship. There's just other areas in your life you lack talking and reciprocating. It could be with family, friend, associates, or whatever. So that substance itself is your spaceship that you're inside of as a spirit, and that mind you in ain't no spaceship in that area with other spirits that do the relationship qualities. You see what I'm saying? You're in another area that it might work for other things. It ain't the relationship. And it don't work for the relationship area. You didn't fly in that space or whatever. So you ain't got a lot of gas in that area. So the spiritual space you in, you're not going to mentally be able to manifest it, to see it around you. So in your physical world, you're not going to be able to obtain it, even if you're rubbing shoulders to a relationship of two people in that you know or whatever like that, and they trying to put you on to their friend or whatever, it'll never work, or however the case it may be. You have to practice the energy first as a spirit, and then it start manifesting into the physical, and then you start having ideas, aka you're inside of that mind, that idea of how to work what you just created, that's now condensing into the physical as your reality and stuff like that. Then you get to pick and choose what kind of relationship or business or circumstance you're trying to direct it in and stuff like that. And then all the problems you had before, you'll start to realize that how did you even manifest those problems of not having, where you got more and you can pick and choose at that moment when you're doing it my way. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times y'all don't think like that. So, well, it's more, it ain't a lot of times, it's all the times. Ain't no church, ain't no book for it. But now you know. Now your spirit know. Which you already know, you just don't have no way to explain it because of the layering systems you in, mentally and physically. You know what I'm saying? So it have you questioning things based on what you're familiar with as far as books or whatever, other than the books come from what we all experiencing anyway. And it wouldn't be no books if the human wasn't having this experience. So you have to understand, it just ain't no word for you experience what you are experiencing, but you very well can sit and justify it. You very well can sit and analyze it. Don't go through that mind jargon of, maybe I don't know what it is. Maybe it's in an Aleister Crowley book, or maybe it's in a psychology. No. You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's almost kind of like that. I hate to even name drop right now, but I'm going to use this as an example, right? And what I'm talking about ain't even about race or whatever the case may be. But this is a good example, right? The Aiden Ross versus Glasses Malone and DJ Academics tap dancing, right? Here's the thing. When we try to, because we created a lot of like words and to communicate and debate come from actually opposing something that we know is true or inevitable. There's certain things we don't got words for, but we just react and respond that way because it's nature. Like, as a human, you're not going to act like a monkey or a gorilla, and the gorilla ain't going to act like the human. It's just by nature, right? You're not going to piss like the possum. You're going to piss like a human. So there's certain things, even when it comes to ethnic groups, you know why it feel weird before you express it. Whatever that thought, word, action may be. Because I love everybody. I don't want to get no detail. Shout out to everybody. But we know what already understood don't need to be said. So if we have to say it and explain it, that's us fighting against something that's eternally true. That's almost a form of going against God, low-key, because we know why something is something. So something that's already understood don't need to be explained. So we got to argue and debate it, right? It's us fighting something that all of us as spirits already know right and wrong in that world that we interact with each other, beyond the biases we constructed to live this synthetic world together as far as social norms and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what you feel comfortable with doing and what you don't feel comfortable with doing, regardless of what it is, mentally and physically. And then when you broaden that up with groupings of people, we know what group of people will allow, like, you will allow your brother or sister to get away with something that you wouldn't allow your cousin to get away with. Then that broaden up. There's things you will allow your brother and sister and cousins to get away with that you wouldn't allow maybe friends of the family to get away with. Then that broaden up. There's things that you will allow there's things you will allow your brothers and sisters and cousins and friends of the family to get away with that you wouldn't allow associates or strangers to get away with, right? So you know that on that level. And how to kind of compartmentalize in certain things of that nature. So it ain't about letting people get away with something or not. It's about you and how everybody feel internally. You know the situation you in and who you are and what will be normal through the lens of you expressing something, and what would not be normal through the lens of you expressing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I went somewhere and went, let's say I went somewhere and I went bungee diving, I may feel a little weird than someone I'm going bungee diving with if they Irish. You know what I'm saying? Now that goes we don't have to talk about that. That's still my friend. But the internal energy that goes all the way down to DNA, my lineage. We don't come from, or we didn't create the idea to bungee jump, and then vice versa. If I want to sit around a fire or something like that and pass around a peace pipe, the Irish dude might not get down with that or whatever. But or he might get down with it, but the internal energy, I might feel more comfortable to jump and do it and make it up as something to do. Hey, come around my face. And that won't be first with him as like the bungee jumping or the snowboarding. But at the same time, that small uncomfortability, I'm aware and he aware or she aware. Doesn't have to be discussed. You know what I'm saying? We already know. Like, is we blind? You see what I'm saying? Or is we spiritual? Is we spiritually deaf? Certain things don't need certain things don't need the conversation before it's done. We supposed to already know. Now, once it's done and a conversation is trying to be forced, that's once spirits already know something was done wrong. And then we can't shame any spirit in defense or defending something. But we all have to know from who's being defended or who's defending themselves or who's defending others and who's the antagonist. We all have to know our positions, and we all have to, you know what I'm saying, know how the mind works. So we know how to construct our situations better and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And know internally before we even do anything ourselves. This is a personal journey. God is a personal journey. We know right from wrong. We ain't dumb. And when we all sat around before we even came together to make a language, from all of ethnicities making languages together and stuff like that, this was what we was already into to even make a word out of it. So we all know right from wrong before we even make a language. That's how the language even come to be. Now, you know, we got a lot of synthetic language and stuff we could use strictly for business and stuff like that. So that could lead into manipulating and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? As long as you know what you're doing and you doing right, that's you and your path and stuff like that. And God will show you and separate you from whatever you trying to be like, well, I'm being right for no reason and stuff like that. Nah. God will show you. You ain't being righteous for no reason. God gonna show you. God gonna give you something. It might not be everything you want, but gotta put that idea in your mind to be like you did get something. You can't say you didn't get something. You could compartmentalize to be like, you know what I'm saying? You might just get too distracted in what you thought you wanted and be like, no, that ain't it. That ain't it. I ain't dealing with God. No. God always give you the thought. You got to run from that thought and actions. You got to be like, nah, that ain't it. Nah, that ain't good enough. That you got to be the bashful spirit. But God will give you that idea. If you're in a situation where you just can't find the idea, you can't find the action, whatever like that, then that's when it's justified. When things, it won't exist if you can't think it, it don't exist. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, if you got the idea, you better find how to add more to that idea yourself, because that's you being able to take a step and God will take another one. But God ain't gonna help you too much and stuff like that. So for the most part, a lot of times y'all don't know how to see that. Y'all don't know how to see that portion of life because it be playing out in areas where it ain't got nothing to do with your wants. It ain't got nothing to do with your biases. It ain't got nothing to do with something going your way at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And these be those little gems that you be needing. Because when things don't go your way, that's when you learn how to make things better when it is going in your way and how to not get too content. So you don't manifest those energies even when you are secure. You still it start to lose motivation, whatever you're doing. You lose creativity, whatever you're doing, without ever knowing it. Because you in some type of ego thinking everything you do is gold based upon what you have accumulated or however the case may be. So you have to be careful. All of these is just dealing with our mind states getting lost into the mind being used for creative attributes in the synthetic world. It ain't nothing wrong with the synthetic world, but it could be something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So once you don't know what you're doing and stuff like that, you get used and abused and you become a victim of nothing. You just blaming everybody. You know what I'm saying? You just think everybody was the problem. And the universe ain't happening to you or for you. It's happening through you. You're just a part of it. Because if the universe was always happening to you or for you, if it was always happening for you, you would think that you will always think things supposed to go your way. If it was always happening to you, you will always think you a damn victim or something like that. No, it's happening through you. Sometimes you got to be a victim of something so you can know how when things is going for you, how not to be the victim. And sometimes things have to go for you so you know how to compare and contrast. Things could be worse. So when it was worse, don't be complaining that much and things of that nature. Boom, you good to go. You got some equilibrium going for yourself. You see what I'm saying? And these be those talks. These be the missing talks that we need. That's why I want to be that anchor online for the missing pockets. No matter what you're involved in, career, business-wise, or whatever, and however you high your boost up ego you think you are, whatever the case may be. Don't ever run from this aspect of life because this keep you sane. You know what I'm saying? And things could be a glorious, grandiose and stuff like that. That things could be in a rut hole and stuff and trial and tribulations. But there's always a gem in these things. There's always a gem. When you getting it all, you always know you could lose it. And when you at the bottom, you always know you just one step from coming up or however the case may be. Because where else is you going to go if you at the bottom? So I'm saying nowhere else to go but up. So always keep the cup half full. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, you ain't got too much to complain about and you're breathing, right? So that's all that matters. So at some point, you know what I'm saying? I seen people who was blind and I seen people with no legs get a little further than your depressing thought forms and stuff like that. Please don't make me name some people and stuff like that. You ever heard of Stevie Wonder? You ever heard of Lieutenant Dang? You know what I'm saying? Rose the Lieutenant Dang. You know that. All right now? So shut up. Now, shut up. Now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times y'all ain't got to do nothing. A lot of times y'all can get up, do this, push record, push live. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard of PewDiePie? You know what I'm saying? You ever heard a lot of these streamers and stuff like that? I'm saying real stuff, so I don't even too much to complain about stuff like that unless you're trying to make money off complaining. Well, say that then. Maybe we'll look at it differently. We'll look at it like, all right, this is this person's expertise. So let me judge this every day because I know it's just virtue signaling. Oh, this person know how to do this well. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't do it like that. Y'all just lost in life and stuff like that. Make creativity out of everything. You know what I'm saying? Make productivity out of everything. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know how to do that, this is why you're depressed. But I'm setting you on the first path. You know what I'm saying? You could be the best depressed person, but it's a lane for everybody in some way, shape, or form. I guarantee you start being happy about being depressed. You ain't depressed no more. You could jump into the algorithm and be happy about this new weird thing that you get, you know what I'm saying? And teach people about that and to get out of this, that, and the third. Now you getting paid for a depression you ain't even got no more. You know what I'm saying? It just faded away. It faded away. You smile into the bank and stuff like that. Or you didn't made your emotional state that was damaged productive. You didn't use your trauma, turned it into motivation. That's transformation right there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all need to get into that energy because a lot of y'all got so much fuel that you ain't using as access to. A lot of y'all that went through so much damage, so much trauma, so much backstabbing, so much behind talking, behind talk backing, whatever they call that and stuff like that. So much situations that didn't fail, so much high hopes let down and stuff like that. Man, that's juice. All that is juice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't see that as juice unless you in a situation that you just got inspired and it's a new thing you want to do or something like that. Then that's when you start thinking about all the times this happened, all the times you went broke, all the times you got cheated on or something like that. You got to be Trey Songz and just got signed and jumped into the studio to start using it and put it to work and got your first million and stuff like that. Just we gonna make it. All right. Tight ass braids. Oh, none of that. What was that? Chris Brown was mimicking him. Yeah, whatever. It's got made up a vocal. So he probably couldn't even sing in the hood. He just made up a vocal or something like that. As long as it sound good, I guess you can sing. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff, but hey, find your place. Everybody got to do that. Everybody got a vocal box. Everybody got something. Everybody got a wet elbow. Use it. Use it or lose it. You stay soaked up in all that juice, it's going to make your body deteriorate. It soak you like a walking egg cell, male or woman and stuff like that. Now you Beavis and Butthead. You know what I'm saying? But all that juice will motivate you. Like, yeah, man, yeah, let me put a little bit of this and that. Let me put a little bit of the flavor in this. Coconut juice right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have my, you know what I'm saying? Real stuff. What they call that? The pina colada. You know what I'm saying? Real to make you a smoothie pina colada or something like that. Yeah, this ain't bitter. This ain't sour. This about to be sweet, man. I'm about to make my life like the top sweet and best hotel, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go on vacation away from this hellhole of a thought. I'm going on spiritual vacation. Forget that feeling for a second. Forget that thought for a second. And y'all be going through so much, it'd be hard to do that. When it's hard to do that, that's like a bucket, a sand bucket full of sand and water. Those are thoughts and feelings. Man, if you know how to lift it up, though, get spiritually strong, it becomes juice. It becomes new flavorings, new seasons. Not dead weight. Oh, I can't move. I'm so weak. No one likes me. You know what I'm saying? That's you wearing yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Look at that and be like, wait a minute, I could use this for something. You know what I'm saying? Turn that into juice. Then you just lift that up like, hold on, this ain't heavy. This sand bucket ain't heavy. Your spirit's stronger now. Now you exercising your spirit getting bigger. Now your mental muscle getting ready to get stronger. Now you physically get ready to be extremely motivated from and turn away from everything that was holding you back. And 99 to 97% of these things just be purely thoughts and feelings for real. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. We be manifesting punk people in our life from that. You know what I'm saying? It could be people we even close to. We create stupid punk-like situations because of how we think and feel. We got to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? We got to get out. We got to take full responsibility for our thought. Take full responsibility for our feelings. And we'll start to see we're playing out some spiritual example. Any family member, friend, associate, or coworker that rub you the wrong way even at times. From a distance, they don't have that energy where you showed them or expressed it, then they just want to show you that they're right even if they're wrong energy. They'd be from a distance like, man, I got to get better. Even if they done you wrong, they'd pop up in their mind like, man, that was wrong. I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Now they start to take that energy. You're like teaching them spiritually. Then the moment you start seeing them be nicer or not do these things no more, they're basically saying sorry. They're basically praying not to you, but basically resolving the spiritual issue. So it's already understood, don't need to be said. They can be close to you. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have to have that mental distance. Because a lot of times it start off as mental distance, then it play out physically and stuff like that. And then that's when it becomes weird animosity. It didn't have to, where it might lead into a bridge burning scenario. And then it'll never be the same type energy. You know what I'm saying? Where it don't have to be like that. We can all go through things with each other and still make it back the same. All the way to relationships and the cheating on each other. But it ain't the what, it's the how and the circumstance. And it's just our starting points of how we develop our relationships. The starting point already be wrong. So a lot of times when things happen, little do we know, those be really spiritual escape plans. You know what I'm saying? Those be really our way out. You know what I'm saying? Those be our really like, I never wanted to be married to the first. I'm telling you, y'all know as a spirit. Y'all been through enough situations. We all grown. Our flesh tell us one thing. Our spirit be on a whole nother mission after a while, especially after we already get fulfilled with the flesh thing. Our spirit be with it for a while, be like, yeah, this is what we want. Then it start thinking like, maybe I want something else. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking real good and start getting unfulfilled again. You know what I'm saying? You start having a wonder and eye, and it ain't even got nothing to do with relationships. The spirit is naked. So once it get a pocket fulfilled, it want another pocket fulfilled. Because remind you, this is how we made our organs. One, you was in a spiritual space, you got that fulfilled, then you got your own space, so you got lost in that first subjective. You know what I'm saying? Subconscious. Then you was like, I want something else. Expand it out of that. Once you expand something, you made another awareness that you was inside of. I like this one. Now you got compartment rooms inside of your spiritual get ready to make a household that you build and stuff like that. Then before you know it, giving more thoughts and feelings inside of that original father and mother you created, thought and feeling. Idea and emotion. Giving more ones to this one, those condense. And each organ is in those areas. You made it. You made it. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Made it. So the spirit don't be doing none of these things y'all be scared about or making over exaggerations about or be proud about. It just be experiencing it all the way down to birth, life, and death. The spirit just experience these things. Now it's higher on a percentage scale in reality that you experience the multitudes of things other than singular of things. So you have to add that as an essence. You're going to experience multitudes of birth, lives, and deaths. You know what I'm saying? We don't see things in a life, something singular, and then it's gone and don't exist no more. We don't see that. You know what I'm saying? We see multitudes. So even if it's a new, updated, evolve, or evolution version of it, that's still multitude as an essence. Then in the mind, it's a matter now. What something can actually be multitudes. Then we see it in the physical. Multiple versions of kinds of things. You don't just see one bird, you see multiple different kinds of birds. You don't see one human, you see multiple different kinds of humans. So on your own subjective path, you still have those qualities. So as a spirit, you will experience birth, life, and death again and again and again. And a lot of y'all were sheep monkeys and stuff like that. That's how you put trust in life in God. And when you do that now, you give new birth and life to new situations right now. So if y'all in dead situations that ain't moving right now, you did that because spiritually you went to a thought that is when you jumped inside of it and produced more thoughts and feelings and became adrenaline and actions and manifested situations and things you obtained. Those things you obtained may no longer be useful. You may not care about them friends you manifested from that time in your life in that space or whatever the case may be, or it might be a lot of things there. People have died or whatever. And then for the most part, you go in that thought, but these are first bodies before you make organ. You can't make no organ out of that because you already living. So the mind, that's not going to produce as life, and it's no longer going to give life to your current situations and for the future that you're accumulating at the moment. So as a spirit, when you jump into that past body in formation, right, you leave away from the mind states that you're currently in to produce the current situations to go into future properly or sufficiently. So you end up living time physically 10 minutes, hours, or whatever the case, and a mind state that's dead, but it's part of your creations. You ain't buried it. So you went in that spiritual space that you created, that mind state when it was alive, that is dead, and it's just a memory. You can't give it life, but you jumped inside of it trying to give it more life, more thoughts and feelings, trying to make that dark beach a daytime again. And you can't. It's dark. So you're just there depressed, compressed, and all those thoughts and feelings that's heavy. Made a whole bunch of rocks there now from the spring, summer, fall, winter, rocky now, and stuff like that. It's cold, it's distant. And in the physical world, it separates you from distance from your current situation. You can't even think properly. Your wife might be talking to you right now. Your kids talking to you. You going in and out of awareness from what they're saying as a focus and what you're focusing on in your mind and stuff like that. You all over the place. And you ain't gonna be a healthy representation for you, your family, none of your friends, nobody you in business with. You know what I'm saying? That's a funk. And when you stay there long enough in that toxic dead thing, you're building a stench. So your spirit ends up stinking. And I don't care how much you wash your ass in the physical and put on cologne and perfume or something like that. Nobody who know you gonna want to be around you for large portions of the day. Cause your spirit stink. You got a stench. And until you wash your spiritual that's when you understand what I be saying in its truest nature. God is next to cleanliness. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. You better believe it. Let me go, because I got to drop this mixtape and stuff like that, so I can go ahead and get back and roll and stuff like that. Flight boss, man, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and responsibilities. ERRACTASWA, HAEL'HO, YAHLAHUE, Massasoit, Mama Natoy. Massasogo. Love all y'all.